Wonderful. It's amazing when you see God's hand actually working in situations that, primarily we would just say, oh, it was circumstance. It was not just a coincidence. It was God.
Hello, everybody. We're back with Testimony Tuesday, and I am here with Hyla. And so she's going to be sharing her testimony with us. It's amazing that just 4 weeks ago, Hyla had a stroke. And I'm just going to leave it at that and let her tell you her story on how God cared for her through this. So, Hyla, take it away.
Well, my name is Hyla Wiersma, and I truly believe I am God's miracle. He truly worked through everything in my life on the 3rd of February. I had gone to take my grandson to get his car, and he stopped to get some food, and I came home, and on the way home is when the stroke happened, and my right hand dropped off from the steering wheel, and I was, it was a shock. And that basically it was only affecting my arm at first. And I drove to my house, and instead of backing in my drive and in the garage, I pulled in the driveway, and I just sat there because that's not normal for me. But in the meantime, I got my, brains together, I guess, and got the car backed into the garage and parked. And I came into the house, and I always heard that it was good to take 2 aspirin if you think you're having a stroke. And I kind of presumed I was. I didn't have a headache. I didn't have any other symptoms of a stroke except the numbness in my hand. And so I proceeded to take 2 Bayer aspirin, and I found my chair in the back room waiting for the aspirin to work. And it didn't work. And my legs started getting numb, and I was getting numb on my whole right side. And there was no one home with me. So this basically is a God thing too. He prompted me to try and talk. And I tried to talk, and it came out all garbled. It just was weird. And so I called my son and his wife, and they advised me to push my life alert and get somebody there, and they were coming right away. So I just sat there and pushed my life alert, and the Layton fire fella came, and the ambulance and everything. And by that time, my whole left side was numb, right down to my leg. And I couldn't talk, and so they put me in this sling thing, whatever it was. It was kind of, comfortable. And my brain was working fine. I could hear everybody, but I couldn't say a word. And between the fire chief and my boys, they decided I should go to Metro, because the longer you wait, the more brain cells are killed. Basically, they just die. And so they decided to take me to Metro, which I was upset with, but I couldn't say anything. So I went to Metro, and they were absolutely fantastic. They had me in the ICU before my boys hardly even got in the hospital. And they found the blockage, and they gave me a drug, which is a super blood thinner. And it worked. I mean, it didn't work exactly right, instantly, but they brought me to a room, and it wasn't probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that drug started to work.
And can I just stop you a minute here, just because I remember when the doctor was telling you what he was going to use, and you were thinking what?
I was thinking, oh, sure, I'm at Metro Hospital, and yeah, you are really with it. I had no trust in the hospital at all. I
Oh.
really didn't.
And I just thought that was important
Yeah.
because they knew, and she was thinking, huh. So
Yeah.
anyway, now
Yeah.
continue where you were at with your hour and a half or so after
Okay.
that drug.
So they got me in a room, and every 15 minutes they came in and asked me basically the same questions, asking me to lift my arms and my leg, and I on the right side there was no possibility. It just wasn't working. So anyway, as time proceeded, um, I started to be able to lift my right hand a little bit, and my daughter-in-law was sitting to the side, and she said to Jeff, my son, she's moving her hand a little bit, look. And they were amazed because, as my son said when he saw me being carried out in this sling, that the thing that occurred to him was, what now?
Oh, yeah.
But the Lord had that, and I'm probably going to get emotional.
That's all right. A good reason.
Yeah, but the Lord, had a hand in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And as the night proceeded, I could start to lift my arm, I could start to lift my leg, and my speech slowly came back, which nobody was happy about that because I talked too much anyway. But anyway.
That's why God had to really do something so she couldn't tell him, don't bring me to Metro.
That's right.
Because he already knew.
That's right. Because I wouldn't have went there if I would have had my way. But anyway, through the night with that medication, you have to be in for 24 hours for it to work its way out of your body. And every 15 minutes, they would come in all night long and do the same procedure and everything. But they were just on top of everything. It was fantastic. But through it all, God's leading was there. And what makes this, and basically he brought me back. My whole right side is fine. That was within probably 5 hours after the original stroke.
Wow.
I was moving my extremities, and it was really it was just a God thing. It was. I mean, there was no way to get around it. And so the kids, my 2 sons and their wives, we gathered around my bed, and we all prayed and held hands. And
neat.
Just to thank the Lord for the progress and for the swift progress that he gave me right away. But the thing of it is, I've got to tell you what happened the night before to really bring this into perspective, because I was in my family room knitting, crocheting, whatever, and the phone rang, and I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't answer. Well, shortly after they called again, I still didn't answer because I didn't know who it was. And I continued doing what I was doing, and then there was a knock on the door, and it was probably 8:30 at night, and I don't answer the door after 8:30 at night, so I just let them pound. I thought you could just pound away. Well, my grandson, who lives downstairs, came up and let them in, and they came in the family room, and they said they had gotten an alarm from my life alert situation.
This was the night before.
The night before, yes.
Wow.
And I said, well, you know what? I'm fine. I didn't hear anything on my life alert box at all. And so I said, I'm fine. You can see I'm fine. So there's no alert. Well, they left, and Life Alert called me back and had me reboot my whole system. And we checked, and it was working fine when we tested it and everything. So who knows if that would not have happened the night before with my Life Alert system. that when I pressed that button, when I was actually having the stroke,
Mhm.
it wouldn't have been available. And
Yeah, because was it a yellow button or they said there was something with your system?
yeah,
They had seen something,
yeah,
right?
there was
On that
the
night.
green light was, but there was a yellow. The light was on in the yellow, which I don't ever look at because
Right.
it's not really available. I don't look at it every time. So anyway, but that was, to me, that was God working
Mm-hmm.
and making me alert for the system wasn't actually up to par, and getting it up to par when I needed it. It
Yeah.
was just a God thing. I can't tell you how wonderful it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing when you see God's hand actually working
Mm-hmm.
in situations that, primarily we would just say, oh, it was circumstance. It was not
Right.
just a coincidence. It was God. And
Mm-hmm.
and I am just so thankful for what he has done for me and given me and improved my whole situation, because my all my extremities have come back fine. And of course I'm in a PT and OT, but that's another thing. But anyway, it was great.
Yes.
And I just, I can't tell you enough to have you really think about asking God into your life,
Mm-hmm.
because he is there through the good times and the bad times. And it's just such a peace. In fact, when they were carrying me out to the ambulance, I didn't have any thought of dying. I just didn't. I just thought, they'll make me better.
Mm-hmm.
And God had that in his plan.
He
And
did.
so now I got to figure out what I'm here for.
Yeah, he's not done with you yet.
Yeah.
That's what my mom always says. She's 90, but she's a prayer warrior. And I
Yep.
said, you're here because you're an intercessory prayer warrior.
Exactly.
But I think some of the things, like you had no idea, your life alert was yellow. And that was like 12 hours before your stroke.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
and I think of the verse in the Bible about how he numbers the hairs on your head. And he cares about the birds, right?
Yep.
So how much more does he care about somebody that was made in his image? And you sharing this testimony with us, but how many others that's already been shared with? How many others has it already shown? He is real. And with all the huge things going on in the world, he still cares about you individually.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. And I know you did say a little bit earlier, just to clarify, because you had said something about your left side as well, and I thought it just affected your right side. So did it affect, just to clarify from earlier in the talk, did it affect both sides?
No, it was only my right side.
Okay,
Because
okay.
it was, the clot was on the left side of my brain,
Okay.
and it was too deep for them to operate on. So that's why they gave me the drug.
The
And
drug
then-
that she thought the doctor, when she told me the story, said, "Oh, I think he's a quack," but it was, and look at God knew. So I just wanted to clarify that other thing as well. But I just want to thank you, Hyla, for sharing, because I think people sometimes forget who God is. Plus, some don't understand yet why they would want to know Him. And this is just one reason as to why you would want to know Him.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Anyway, we thank you, and I just appreciate you sharing. And just as we leave, I mean, as Hyla had said, just know, if you don't know the Lord yet, know who He is. He's real. He cares.
He definitely does.
And yes, and we are made in His image because He loves us and wants us to be with Him.
Even though you think you're a
eternity.
nobody, I mean, it's just me living in this little house in Moline. But God cared.
He cares. Yes. All right. Thank you.